Hello. So yeah, we're live. Yeah, this is the second episode of the podcast that has no set schedule whatsoever. Uh, and to my right here is good buddy Willie. You want to introduce yourself, introduce your channel and everything?
Yeah, for sure. Hello. I am Will, formerly known as Willie from Will's Wrestling Corner, formerly known as Willie Does Wrestling. And basically, what I do on my channel, do the universe mode, which is booked. Well, fuck this way, which is also booked by Wolf right here.
Yep.
He does SmackDown. I do Raw. Uh, Things are going strong, and then I do like predictions, rants, gaming on the side. I also have a TV show in my native Ontario, Canada, and I recently commentated a wrestling show for the first time ever. So I'm pretty excited.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all good.
Uh, yeah, so we're basically going to be talking about the state of pro wrestling today because right now it's in a weird spot. Truly the weirdest. Like, this is probably one of the strangest years of pro wrestling uh have ever encountered.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely good stuff and there's not so good stuff. But the main things we're going to be talking about is our two pay-per-views, one tonight, which is AEW Dynasty, and one in a couple of weeks, which is WrestleMania 41. I guess because it is Dynasty Day, we can talk about Dynasty. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, AEW Dynasty, it's really interesting. The card looks solid enough, I think, especially for what I would consider a B show pay-per-view. Um, like we have John Moxley versus Swerve as the main event, and Swerve's family is gonna be there, so actually gives open the possibility that they might actually give the title to Swerve. Um, Especially since on Dynamite they teased the possibility of running back Hangman and Swerve again, so we could get Hangman winning the All In Cup, and then at the main event of All In Texas is Swerve versus Hangman, which would be delightful because that is probably the best rivalry in the history of AEW. Um,
Oh, easily the best
yeah,
rivalry in AEW.
yeah, like the only thing that rivals it is Tony and Mariah, and even then, I'd say Swerve and Hangman is better. We have, speaking of Tony, we have Timeless Tony Storm defending against the new comer Megan Bain. They seem to really book her. Strong Tony, I think, seems to favor her a little bit. And honestly, the way she's been presented, the way she's been booked, I think there's a very legitimate possibility that Megan wins tonight.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Especially because there's like more options with her, and Tony doesn't need the title. I think I like right now. Like we went through Mariah, we gave it back there, but like Tony doesn't really need that much of a reign. She's already 4-time women's champion.
Mhm.
Giving the title to Megan Bain would make her look very strong and very dominant. And it would also open up options with all these people in the Owen Cup. We have Thunder Rosa, we have Chris Statlander, both of which interacted a fair amount with Megan Bain. Like Thunder Rosa versus Megan Bain at All In sounds actually legitimate, actually reasonable. Um, Especially since Thunder Rosa seems to be like the first main feud that Megan Bain has had. So I think at All In would Texas would be great. But there's also Jamie Hayter in the tournament. We could get Jamie versus Tony or Jamie versus Megan at All In. That spoiler alert. That's my pick to win the whole thing, Jamie. Uh, and then we have an incredible triple threat for the international title, possibly going to be the match of the night. Kenny
Very likely.
Omega, Ricochet, and Mike Bailey. Um, I feel a little bad for Ricochet because he's only in there to take the pin.
Easily.
Yeah, like which is fine. He's doing possibly like the best work of his career, at least character wise. He's doing the best character work of his career. I don't think Ricochet's that it's gonna be a problem if Ricochet takes the pin to Kenny Omega by all people. And then we got a bunch of other title matches, TNT title match between Garcia and Adam Cole.
Adam needs to win. Adam
Adam does need to win. Although I feel a little bad because what they've been doing with Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia is exactly what Daniel Garcia needed in his title reign. Like like this kind of stuff. Like if for whatever reason they keep the title on Garcia, just keep doing what you did with Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. Like keep doing this stuff for Daniel Garcia. And it'll be great. It'll be fine. I think that is the direction that the title reign should go if it continues, but I don't see it continuing because of how much they did this match. Plus Adam does need a title reign in AEW. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do give it to Daniel Garcia later on again.
Yeah, just a little bit of a change of pace.
Right.
Adam Cole's been in AEW for quite a little bit, and I feel like if
Like
his
4 years,
injuries, yeah, 4 years. I feel like if
2
his
of which were
injuries,
injuries.
yeah, I feel like if his injuries didn't keep coming back to haunt him,
Yeah,
he would have definitely have been a champion by now because
easily.
they viewed Adam Cole as such this big deal when he first came in, and he is a big deal.
He's one of the
But
best.
they never pulled the trigger on him. Didn't pull the trigger at
Yeah,
All In. Didn't pull the trigger at Revolution 2 years ago. And throughout this rivalry with Garcia, didn't pull the trigger on him yet. Hopefully tonight they actually do
right,
that because Adam Cole's one of my favorites. I've loved
right.
Adam Cole since his days in
And the
NXT.
thing is, like, there's not too many people you can reasonably give it to other than
Exactly.
Adam Cole. The like right now, personally, if Garcia retains tonight, I see the only other person being Kyle Fletcher. Uh
Yeah.
Speaking of Kyle Fletcher, let's get to his match tonight. Number 4 match against Mark Briscoe. Um which is good. I like that. I like that Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe have kept at it. I think Mark is up 2-1. So Kyle's winning. Kyle's winning
Easily.
easily. Yeah.
Easily. He's gonna
And
go to
then
the
they'll
semis.
probably do number 5 at like some other time, some Dynamite or Collision, or I don't know, hell, maybe All In.
Maybe. I don't know what
uh,
they're doing with this.
um,
Oh, it's a Owen Hart Cup
Owen Hart Cup
quarterfinal.
quarterfinal, yeah.
Yeah, Kyle's
And
winning that.
yeah, Kyle's winning that. We also have Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart. This has made me want to pop a blood vessel because Byron has been saying that Hounds of Hell are buried, and I've wanted to kill him because of it.
Well, they're anything but buried.
No, the Hounds of Hell are not buried whatsoever.
They've expanded a lot actually since
If
Malachi
they
left.
were buried, Julia would not be in sight for weeks.
That's true. That's true.
Like Julia would not even be in this tournament.
And Brody and Buddy have both
And she's
gotten
on
more TV time.
pay-per-view with one of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now. Like, come on now. Come on. I know we don't like her, or well, you guys don't like her. I don't
I
care
don't.
too much about her, but I mean, being on pay-per-view with Mercedes is the definition of not buried.
Yeah, it's a big
Main
deal.
Yeah, like a main card pay-per-view. Like, yes, Mercedes is obviously winning because they've already teased Mercedes and Athena, which we're
Yep.
probably gonna get in that Boston show that they have on Dynamite or Collision. Which is like something about them surpassing Nitro or something.
Yeah,
Um,
more episodes than Nitro.
right. So like even if Mercedes wins, which goes on to the finals, which honestly the way they've based off the interactions, that's not even guaranteed. Like they've teased interactions between Athena and Jamie, so they could have the finals be Athena and Jamie, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Um, but our last quarter final Owen Cup match on pay-per-view, Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. Originally this was supposed to be Will Ospreay versus Jay White.
Man, that would have been
Oh,
so good to see
it
on
would have been, it would
pay-per-view.
have been. But honestly, I'm happy for Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight is incredible. WWE was gonna put him in a tryout, and now AEW has him on pay-per-view with arguably the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, but let's be
Yeah.
real. Osprey's winning.
Obviously Ospreay's winning, but still very
He's
big
gonna
deal
win the
for
whole. He's gonna win the whole thing.
I
Osprey.
don't agree.
Well, who do you think is gonna win the men's?
Hangman.
Hangman. Oh yeah, that's right. Swerve and Hangman. No, I
Yeah.
think Mox. But this is a bit of a spoiler. I don't
Yeah.
care.
I was
Mox.
thinking like the wild card could like maybe be Darby, but like now
mm,
they're taking like I mean if it was Darby, it was obviously gonna be Darby, but now that apparently it's and that he just started climbing Everest and it takes like 2 or so months. Yeah, I don't think Darby's gonna
yeah.
If Darby makes it all in, it's gonna be like very last minute and like probably the week before all in, he'll be back and go after Moxley or something. But
Yeah, there'd be no way because he's going to or just started climbing, and
right,
then so the wild card would either be Josh Alexander
probably, or
or
maybe someone like a fall, someone that could take a fall to Hangman. Like I don't
Max
know.
Caster,
No, 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 no. Let's not. Let's
the
not think of
best
that.
wrestler alive, Max
I would say
Caster.
like Roosh or something like a I don't know something
Bandito, the
or
athletic.
hell maybe someone that I think is probably going to come back tonight, which we'll get to that. We have speaking of Bandito, we have a title versus mask match between Chris Jericho and Bandito, which is strange because Chris Jericho is like front and center of Supercard of Honor, but um
Yeah,
Jeff who? Jeff
Jeff
who?
Jarrett.
Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett.
Oh,
This is his final
yeah.
year. He could be chasing the
Yeah,
world title.
actually. Oh, wow,
Oh
that
yeah,
actually
and
makes sense.
the past interactions with Hangman makes sense.
Yeah, and not to mention he wants to go for the world title.
And he
Could
wants to win
work.
the
Could
Owen to
work.
honor his friend. Yeah, I mean
Could work.
it's
Could
very
work.
possible.
And he very well could take a fall to Hangman. So
Oh, easy.
yeah,
Um, I think they actually ran that last year. Jeff Jarrett was in the Owen, faced a wild
yeah,
card. It was Hangman, so they'll do a little
yeah,
switcheroo.
yeah.
Jeff Jarrett, you get wild card, and Hangman.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. They did that last year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think okay, that works. That actually could work. What?
It works a
Well,
lot.
um, Death Riders versus Rated FTR.
I'm excited for it.
Rated FTR, I think should win. I think it's
I
time.
I want them to win, but I am scared because they're hinting at them breaking up, which
I'm gonna be
I
real with you. The reason that's why I think they're gonna win, and then they're gonna be
reconcile.
transitional. No, they're
Oh, they're
gonna
going to
be
be
transitional.
transitional.
Yeah, to I'd say the ops.
That would be good though.
Yeah,
The ops
yeah, ops
need
take
that.
advantage of the dissension, and then after rated FDR lose the trios titles, FDR turns heel.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, like, literally, they could win it on Dynasty and then, like, the Dynamite after or, like, 2 weeks after, lose the titles to, like, the Ops, and then there we go.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all, honestly.
Uh,
Great.
and then we have some pre-show matches, Nick Wayne and Crew versus AR Fox and Top Flight. This is, like, an actual story, funny enough.
Oh,
This
wow.
actually works. Crew is, of course, Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Um
Hmm.
this is hilarious. Like, this match being on a pre-show has probably more story than like half the main card of Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Hurt Syndicate and the Learning Tree on this card.
Yeah, because they had to pivot because originally it was supposed to be Hurt Syndicate versus Murder Machines, but Brian Cage is injured.
Man, poor Brian Cage. He could have really
Bro.
used a push too.
Yeah, I mean,
And
he
Lance
was
Archer.
kind of
Fuck.
getting pushed with Lance Archer, and then now he's injured, and
Lance Archer was the biggest like missed experiment. Well, one of the biggest
mm,
missed experiments in AEW. Well, no, when Lance Archer
I'll be
first came in,
honest.
it was such a big deal.
Yeah,
We
I'll
had
be
Jake the
honest.
Snake in
Now
there.
Tony Khan's been getting better with big men lately.
Lately, yeah, what
Yeah,
they're doing with Mark Davis and
I wouldn't count
Big
Mark Davis
Bill.
as a big man, but Big Bill, Powerhouse
He's
Hobbs.
a beefy boy.
Before he got injured, Brian Cage actually was getting a
Yeah,
good look.
they
Even
made him
Lance
a big
Archer
deal.
was doing stuff like
Yeah.
what's it called? People, I just realized another speculated wild card, which also could be showing up tonight to kill Max Caster. Um, Wardlow.
Oh yeah, where's he been? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they.
car accident, I think. But
Yeah, I think he had like a leg injury, like a torn ACL or not ACL.
yeah,
He had a knee injury, I think. Uh,
okay.
but yeah, so now I'm gonna be cooking something for this main event. It's John Moxley and Swerve Strickland. So here's what I think could very well happen, especially given the latest interactions about and on Dynamite, and now they have Swerve's family there. I think Swerve now might actually win the
Mm,
title, and because right now I saw three pathways. Um, one of which seems kind of one of which is like the logical and more reasonable option with based on the story that they've made, like the actual story that they've made, which was Darby, but nobody wants Darby for some reason. Um,
Darby doesn't even want to. He wants to climb Mount Everest.
the other pathway that I thought made a lot of sense character wise, for him to take the title off Moxley, even at Double or Nothing. But instead, I'm going the wild option, which is the said guy comes back tonight after Swerve wins the title. Swerve wins the title. Death Riders surround the ring. Eddie Kingston comes back,
Oh,
chases him off, and then backfist Swerve.
Eddie Kingston in the Death Riders.
Eddie joins the Death Riders, and then at
Oh,
Double or Nothing, we get Swerve versus Eddie.
oh
Am I
no,
cooking or am I cooking?
no, that's good. Oh man, that would be
Because
so
I was
wild if
I
that
was a
happened.
little worried because like Eddie, I was worried that like Eddie's too likable. He can't really be a heel right now. Like I can't see him being a heel.
But here's the
Um,
thing,
but
like,
the thing is, he's good enough to be like he can be a heel,
yep.
and not to mention Eddie Kingston in the Death Riders is more appealing than Jack Perry.
No, for sure. And
Yeah,
my thing was when I made my who should dethrone every AEW champion video, I was like, there's not really that good like heels besides who are champions right now and Kyle Fletcher. That's really
yeah,
it. So, especially if we had Eddie Kingston as a heel, whether or not he is part of the Death Riders, it's a huge
Yeah,
breath of fresh air. Sure, Eddie's likable, but he can cook in promos.
right.
Imagine Eddie Kingston in a heel promo against someone like Swerve. That'd be
And
like
that
segment of the year.
right. Exactly, and that's why I think it's so interesting and so and even if he doesn't join the Death Riders and he's just a heel by himself, I think it would be really good. It would be something new because 'cause we've never seen Swerve and Eddie. Um, and, I would like it, and especially if, um and later when Darby comes back, we could have Darby interact with Eddie. We
Yeah.
could have what's it called? Jay White interact with Eddie. We could have Osprey, Copeland interact with Eddie like that would actually yeah, because of the fact that uh what's it called? Copeland has said one of the matches he wants to do is against Eddie Kingston.
Mhm.
That and if we're like teasing the possibility of FDR turning heel, that means Copeland staying face. That means yeah, Eddie should be a heel, um,
Exactly.
to get that match. So I think it would be great. And worst case scenario, let's say Moxley retains tonight. You could go the other option, which is you have Eddie come back, and then at Double or Nothing, you do Moxley and Eddie, and you give the title to Eddie
Yeah. That
because it
that
would
would
make
be
a
good.
lot of sense. Like,
And
especially
then
if you can't really rely on giving the title to Darby, especially with the whole Owen Cup thing, and
mhm,
just give the title to Eddie, and then you could do Eddie and Osprey. You could do Eddie and Hangman. You could do uh anything. Like
that's true. I
it
mean,
opens the doors. That's
Eddie and
why I
Osprey
think
cook.
tonight Eddie Kingston does come back.
I mean, yeah, I'd never really considered that possibility that Eddie could come back, but it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But I do genuinely think John Moxley's retaining here. The whole thing with his family, it makes me feel like maybe after the match, Mox does some like nasty ass shit to Swerve right in front of Swerve's family. You get like that shot of Swerve's family being like, "Oh no, don't do that." You know what I mean? Like it really
Yeah.
makes me feel like that's really the possibility.
Right.
Who's his challenger at Double or Nothing? I mean, if they really are allergic to turning Eddie Kingston heel, you run
Eddie.
back Moxley with Eddie, face Eddie, heel Mox. Doesn't matter who wins that. Winner faces my pick to win the Owen Hart Cup, which is Will Ospreay at All
Mm,
In. Which honestly, whether it's Eddie or Moxley, the match with Ospreay is going to be definite All In main event, like
yeah.
easy. Um, but yeah, I mean
I'll
it
I'll be
won't be that
honest,
bad.
like Leo says that Osprey is gonna be the one to take the title. I personally don't see it. I cannot see Osprey winning the title yet.
I
Like
see it.
yes, it works. Osprey is good enough for it. Just against Moxley, there like beating Moxley, there's nothing behind it, no story. Um, like it really would uh go based off and like based on the interactions, the fact that they shown Hangman and Swerve, like, I feel like now it makes sense to have especially if the wild card's not gonna be Darby, and we're not getting a
Mhm.
pathway to Darby and like, at that point, you if we're gonna do Darby, trying to get his lick back on Mox, then you have to do Darby and Mox without the title. Um, and I would say that would work for All In, but, um, in that case, I do think now it would as a main event of All In, Swerve and Hangman for the world title would work perfectly. And hell, after like you have Swerve win uh at tonight on Dynasty. And then you could have Eddie and Swerve at Double or Nothing.
Mhm.
Then fuck it, give the title to Hangman.
That would be good. Don't get me wrong, and I
Right,
wouldn't be mad if Swerve wins the title and then we go in that direction, right?
right,
Because they're really trying to hint at like the whole Hangman's gonna redeem himself from the fucking monster he was last year. That
right,
would be a good way to redeem himself, is if main event of All In, he becomes a two-time
right.
AEW
And
World
if you
Champion.
can't, and if you feel like you need a heel versus face, add All In, even though the first All In we had face versus face and
We
MJF and
did
Adam
pretty
Cole.
much did. Yeah.
Um, if you need a heel versus face, then just give the title to Eddie, Double or Nothing, to a heel Eddie. Uh,
The thing is like that if they know what they're doing, they can book this as a face versus tweener. Like
Hangman, yeah,
Hangman
Hangman's
still
tweener,
having those heel tendencies, the psychotic son of a bitch, and then boom, the second the match is over, he's like, "Oh my god, I did it." It's almost like a reawakening, right? I don't
yeah.
know how you do that. I don't know like what they would need to think about to really make that like shift in character make sense, but it seems like they're slowly planting the seeds for that anyway with the whole "Oh, you burned my house down. You deserved it. I know." Like we're already
Yeah,
getting that.
yeah.
So if they keep going at this pace, yes, it would be very good to see. Here's actually something that would be a very big eye opener for tonight. What if Hangman helps Swerve win so that way he guarantees a title shot?
That could work. That could be perfect, actually.
Like he's just like, I didn't do it just for you.
Right.
I did it so I get next because I
Mhm.
need it.
Right.
Even if it's for Double or Nothing and it's not All In,
Right.
then you do that.
No, I would. Well, the thing is, we have the Owen Cup and Hangman's in
Yeah,
it,
that's the thing.
and
Hangman's in it, so it doesn't
basically
even matter the
has
weight.
a free tick, like not free ticket, but he's
He's
most
getting a title
likely
match, but he's
going
in the
all
tournament.
the way to the finals, and I think the finals will be Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page.
Yep,
Um, so yeah, like that I think would work perfectly. Like, yes, you have Hangman help Swerve win the title, and then he can be like, I'm gonna win the Owen, and so I can fight you for that world title.
it's almost like a you owe me one now.
Yeah. So yeah, now so and then you could do Eddie come in, and then you could have that segment of Hangman telling Swerve, "You better not lose after I helped you," and then yeah,
Yep,
I think it would work perfectly.
and then
But
even if Eddie joins the Death Riders, let's say Dynamite, you do Mox and Eddie and Swerve and Hangman. Will
exactly,
they coexist? Stuff like that.
it would work
Very
great, I
likely
think.
will.
So
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested to see how it goes. And I guess now we can shift into WrestleMania.
Oh,
Uh,
goody, goody.
so before we talk about WrestleMania, let's talk about the shows leading up to to WrestleMania.
Mm.
Yikes. Imma be real. Imma be real honest. You know how much of a SmackDown guy I am.
Oh yeah,
SmackDown is cooked.
SmackDown sucks.
SmackDown is god awful. It is easily the worst show of the week. Uh, like, I hate that I'm saying it. It feels wrong that I'm saying it. SmackDown right now is 2019 levels bad.
Oh, I
Like,
I
they had to
I would
pull
believe you.
Roman, Seth, Punk, Fenix debut, which was not even against someone like Andrade. Um, and then they had, like, a bunch of other stuff, like, they pulled out everything. And this, I feel like, was the best they could do, and they gave, like, an an alright show, like, a just fine show this past Friday.
My biggest gripe with
They had a
SmackDown,
DIY versus MCMG, like,
number
literally,
572.
which
Like,
is
dude,
fine because they're like two of the best tag teams in the world.
by
But
default,
yeah, like DIY versus MCMG, great. What's it called? Roman Punk Seth, great. Ray Fenix debut, also great match with Nathan Frazier. By the way, amazing match. God
it's
bless
a good
Jamie Noble
match.
for producing that amazing match. But basically, what I'm saying is they pulled out everything for this past SmackDown, and it was okay. It was
It
fine.
was
It was
still
decent.
decent. Yeah,
It was
it
not
wasn't good.
great, it was decent, it was good enough,
Yeah,
which is
like,
not good.
the thing is,
That's a problem. That
the
is a problem.
my biggest thing, and this isn't just a SmackDown thing, this is like a whole of WWE thing right now. This does not feel like we are less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. This still feels like we're still in February, March with the way things are being built. Like, the only matches right now, especially looking at this final card, the only matches right now that I can genuinely say I am looking forward to and I cannot wait to see are the main events. Reigns, Punk, and Rollins, and Cody and Cena. And maybe the women's triple threat. Io, Bianca, and Rhea.
Well, now that we have the US title match, I would say the US title
Uh,
match.
yeah, but they gave it like
It
less
is
than
kind
2
of
weeks
obvious
build.
that Jacob is winning.
Well, which isn't bad. Jacob honestly
Jacob
deserves it.
deserves it 100%, and besides, LA Knight should be elevated the world title scene, but
Exactly. But yeah, like, don't get me wrong, right? Some of these matches on paper seem like it's all right. You know what I mean? I mean, AJ and Logan could be
Logan,
very good in
be
ring
most
matches.
likely, it's gonna be Logan's best match in his career.
Easy. Uh,
Although there is the, like, worst timeline possibility of this being AJ's worst match in his career.
it's very likely this could be AJ's last WrestleMania match in his career, which people don't want to
Maybe.
talk about that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They
So,
got and then we
let's
talked about this, sorry to cut you off. We talked about this right before the show, or at least in a Twitter thing.
yeah.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus gauntlet match winners.
And now
Why?
let's talk about the gauntlet match. Let's talk about who is in the gauntlet match.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
We have Maxina Natalia. We have
Yay.
what's it called? BFAB and Michin. We have PFC, Shayna and Zoe. We
Yay.
have Bailey and the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. Why? I have no idea.
It's fucking stupid.
And who else? Oh, the Secret Hervis, Alba Fire and Piper Niven.
I didn't even know it was, I thought it was just Secret Service. I
No,
didn't
no,
know it
it's
was Secret
Hervis.
Hervet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last spot is most, actually not even debatable in my eyes, the best women's tag team in that lineup that is not being treated as such. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, life of the party. These two girls are so good as a tag team,
Yep.
and they've been buried. I'm sorry. They've been buried.
They've been
Maybe
relegated
post
to
me
jobbers.
like they got like one like giveaway tag title reign, I think, when they got called up and then
Yep.
kind of like fell off. Um it's
This gauntlet
like
match sucks.
maybe post Mania, like I'm hoping that post Mania there's gonna be a lot of pushes because they do seem to give a handful of pushes on post Mania. Um I
Like,
think Katana and Kaden do need that kind of push post Mania.
mhm.
I'll be honest, there is only one way to save this match that would make it not a stinker at WrestleMania. Um, and I don't know if they'll do it because they're nowhere in sight. And that is if Alexa and Nikki, of the Wyatt Six come in and steal one of the spots, basically.
Yeah, but I don't know if they would really want to rush, like, especially a transition like Alexa Bliss into the White Six that fast. That would be the
Just
only
have
saving grace.
Nikki, like, come in and be like,
Mind control.
kinda be not even like, Nikki is just, like, kinda remembering, like, the good times that she had with Alexa, and then, like, Alexa basically was, like, accepting her, like, as a partner, um, and then, like, Alexa and Nikki, like, it just makes sense, especially, like, this is all I'm gonna be ranting. This is all because we gave the wrong match for the women's world title at WrestleMania 40.
Mhm.
Completely wrong. Corporatist match that meant nothing, no story behind it. Um, we coulda did Rhea Becky now, and then last year we coulda did Rhea Liv and have Liv win. Like, and Rhea should not have won on Netflix debut, whatever. Um,
Mhm.
you could have easily done like, given the fact that you have somebody that got the biggest pop of the night at the Royal Rumble,
That's true.
possibly missing WrestleMania entirely, disgraceful. A war crime, actually. Um,
I
like
don't know why they stopped pushing
like
Alexa Bliss.
I
Like,
No, they're gonna, keep pushing it. They're like, obviously they're gonna push her like post WrestleMania, especially like they're
yeah,
probably, but right now it seems like they're probably gonna relegate her to like a segment on Mania, not in a match. She just comes out, and then the Wyatts come out, do spooky stuff, and
tune
what's it
in next
called?
week.
Alexa joins them or whatever. Maybe kills somebody.
Fucking kills a production guy or Chad
Um,
Gable again. Just like, but
but the way I see it, like in my eyes, like I honestly thought it would have made a lot of sense to do Alexa and Liv for the title this WrestleMania, and we don't have that. Now
no.
again, I'm happy for Io that she has the title. Io is, in my eyes, the best women's wrestler in the world. Um, yeah,
Yeah, don't
she's
get me
so
wrong. I'm very very happy that EO is getting this big spot. But I want to go back to the women's tag team championships, which this is just an excuse to get Liv Morgan on the card because the Liv stands won't shut the fuck up. Like this,
Well, the thing is,
it's clear.
Liv deserves so much better than this. Like, I'm sorry, like Liv literally, like objectively, Liv Morgan deserves better than, oh, what's it called? This team, tag teams that none of them have been built up. None of them. Like, and based on the
Yeah,
interactions that we've had this, especially this past week, I would not be shocked at all if they do Maxine and Natalia winning that gauntlet match and going on to WrestleMania, which I
my,
mind-boggling, mind-boggling.
my
I
thing is
I no hate to Maxine, no hate to Natalia, but
yeah.
they don't deserve to be on WrestleMania. I'm
Oh
sorry.
hell no. Hell no, they don't. My thing is,
Like
I think it's going to be Lyra and Bailey, which is
that should be
weird.
a match. That should
That
be
should be
at
one on
WrestleMania.
one. That was what I was trying to
That
say.
should be Bailey versus Lyra. Also, where is Roxanne? Why did we fumble Roxanne and Bailey?
She's on NXT. Yeah,
Like,
Roxanne was on
why? Like,
NXT trying to get a shot at the
even if
women's
you're
North
like,
American title.
yeah, like even if you're
Why?
like, oh, we don't want to, like, even if you don't put it at WrestleMania, just move Bailey to NXT for Stand and Deliver. Just do Bailey Roxanne at Stand and Deliver. You've
That was
done
what
it
I thought we were gonna
for
get.
you've done it for what's it called? Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano. You can have Bailey go to NXT to fight Roxanne as Stand and Deliver.
Yep. And then that could have been Roxanne's last match in
And
NXT.
then yeah, Roxanne, and then they wait until the draft, and then Roxanne gets called up, which now they're going to call up Roxanne in the draft, basically guaranteed.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, my thing was, it's like, once I found out Lyra and Bailey were going to be in this match, and especially with the whole interactions with Liv and Raquel, especially recently for Lyra, I was like, yep, this match is going to happen. Speaking about Lyra and Bailey. And then literally 4 days later, they're going to team up and basically get a take team title shot at WrestleMania.
all because Becky is sitting at home collecting a check.
Yep. You're really knocking it out of the park and making the women's mid card titles
It
important.
was
Where's the
so easy.
United States Championship? Where is it?
Well, Chelsea took a week off, so
Took a week off.
I think it was her birthday on SmackDown or something, or
But no, the topic that I really wanted to get into was that
we're probably
both
gonna
women's
get,
mid card championships are
yeah.
not at WrestleMania. Both of them. And
Yeah, the thing
they were
is, I
supposed to be
wouldn't
this
be
big deal.
surprised if they add Chelsea and what's it called, Zelina. But here's one issue with that: Zelina has arguably the one of, if not the worst theme song in the company. Uh, like, and it's unfortunate because she actually likes it. She loves it, in fact. And usually I wait until the theme song's released so I can properly listen to it. But Megan Thee Stallion, I'm sorry, does not work for a wrestler theme.
Wait, that's who does Zelina's theme now? Is Megan Thee
Megan Thee
Stallion?
Stallion, yes, and I think a couple other people.
Really? I had no
Yeah.
idea. I thought it was purely Def
Yeah,
Rebel.
that's why it sounds like the SmackDown theme, because it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Well, it's not actually the SmackDown theme, but it's
But it's
made by the
basically the
same
same
person.
thing because Megan
Yeah,
Thee Stallion also does
yeah,
the SmackDown theme.
yeah, basic.
Oh,
And
y-
the another problem is Zelina's not getting any reactions, when she comes out with that
well,
song.
I wonder why. Because, well, for number one, the theme song's garbage, and number two, Zelina Vega has always been like booked terribly ever since she's been on the main roster, which sucks.
Well, the thing is, like, what's it called? At least her last theme song, like, you know who's coming out because it starts with them saying her name.
But it's a
Uh,
classic Def Rebel trope. Zelina
yeah,
Vega. It's like,
and it,
dude.
it wasn't even that bad. It was actually like a good song, like for like
And
a good
that was
like
back when she did
instrumental.
that was back when she did Queen Zelina as well, which made a lot more sense to have her say her
Like it
name.
would, like
But and then
and
speaking of
I'm
women's
sorry, like
wrestling,
I feel like unfortunately, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the match gets moved to SmackDown before Mania.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense because they really like doing like, hey, all the belts that don't get defended on the pay-per-view, we're gonna do the title match on the Raw or the SmackDown before, which
Well, at
is
the very
laziness.
least, in terms of the women, we do have, for the first time ever, an actual wrestling match that does not involve the title between women, which is Jade Cargill and Naomi.
Yeah, and
I don't know how I don't know who should win.
that's the thing, because 'cause they're trying to make Naomi seem like this very big deal, which I do give them credit for. But Jade needs a singles win in a big stage if they wanna big her up into, let's say, possible mid-card or world title scene.
I
Uh,
mean,
Jade should win, honestly.
yeah, I feel like Jade should win, but, like, for some reason, I feel like it's very well possible they give it to Naomi as a shock win, and then
Then
maybe
they
they
run
run
it
it
back.
back at Backlash. Um,
I could see that. Like, yeah, I'm shocked that it took WWE this long to do a women's match at WrestleMania that does not involve a championship in any way.
Right.
Which honestly, this should have been a Jade and Bianca, but they probably want to save that to like SummerSlam or something.
I'll be
Um,
honest. Do you want to know where they're gonna save it?
what?
Evolution.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're doing Evolution too.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I like that Jade and Naomi are getting this spot because, like, at first I was a little iffy. Oh, are they gonna do this at Mania? It doesn't seem Mania
I am
worthy.
happy because what's it called? Naomi hasn't really gotten that much of a spotlight since she came back, and I think now we're kind of giving her more attention. And I think that's a good thing because I was worried that like they weren't gonna make Naomi look good because when she came from TNA where she was a dominant women's champion.
She was like
And
the spotlight of that division.
yeah, and then she came back to WWE where she was like not really doing anything. And now it's like, okay, now Naomi is back. We are giving attention back to Naomi, which is good. I think it's a
Yes.
positive. Um, but from one women's match to another, let's talk
Hmm.
about one of the women's title matches. One the let's talk about the one that I am scared the most for out of all of WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I'm gonna say this
Oh,
right now. This is gonna be a hot take. Um, Charlotte Flair is more exciting and more interesting as a babyface. Keep in mind, not better. More interesting, more exciting as a babyface than as a heel. As a heel, it gets stale way too quickly. Like I thought maybe we would get something new from Charlotte Flair as a heel this time around. It's the same old stuff that gets like nobody cares after like 2 weeks. Less than 2
yeah.
weeks. 1 week. 1 week. No, nobody cares anymore because it's what we've seen her entire career. Like, we went backwards with Charlotte Flair. Like, I thought the babyface run would, transition into something new. I don't mind her utilizing, like, leaning into the whole queen thing more, but, like, don't just be the stereotypical, like, uh what's it called? Snobby and entitled rich brat that we've seen all your career. Literally your entire career. Um,
Yeah, like, the thing is, it's like, I get it because Tiffany's popular. Well, at least before that, um, because everyone was so excited. Like, this is this bright face, that's now a champion, which she deserved. And then Charlotte comes in, and then it's just like,
it's it's a big deal for Tiffany, and I
yes.
understand, and like both of them wanted it. It's obvious both
And
of them wanted it.
they didn't wanna turn Tiffany Stratton heel, which I could
Right.
respect, so that only really left Charlotte
That
being heel.
that's
But
fine. And the thing is,
this whole
this
story of Charlotte coming back was, like, her overcoming, like, over a year of injury, and it was, like, supposed to be this big
the
deal, she
promo
wants to
was a
reclaim the
shoot
throne.
switch. Yes, the promo was
Yes, it
a
was
shoot.
a shoot because
Yeah,
they didn't know that Chicago
they
was
went
going to boo
entirely.
Charlotte. They
Yeah, they
didn't
went
let
entirely off
Charlotte
script.
talk. They
Yeah.
didn't let her speak. Like, they were gonna do this whole fucking thing, and Charlotte was trying
I'm
so hard. You could tell it
another
was
thing,
really getting to her.
right, and another thing, they really, really need to stop with Charlotte, doing this mocking, high-pitched, squeaky BS. Like, please, please, I genuinely wanna, like, shoot myself on stream, every time I hear it. It is so bad, like and that's why I don't I don't like watching Charlotte Flair as a heel. I don't. I'm sorry. Like it hearing that, especially that, like if that's going to happen regularly, I will not watch anything Charlotte Flair. Like I'm sorry. Like I would genuinely like that I've said it before on a couple previous streams on like with Byron and the others, like that forced high pitch nonsense. I would rather watch Ronda Rousey on my TV, trying to cut a promo. I would rather watch Trish Stratus during the Becky Lynch feud try to cut a
I'd
promo.
rather watch Marina Shafir with the "You know me, you don't know me" promo.
Like, it's so aggravating, it makes me wanna pop a blood vessel, and, like, I sometimes, like, I genuinely had the thought that I would rather wanna watch washed up Hulk Hogan than high-pitched forced high-pitched, Charlotte Flair. Like, please, stop it. Stop it. It is the worst thing I have ever heard in the history of pro wrestling.
And the thing is, they're struggling so hard to give Charlotte and Tiffany a story that would make this seem like a legitimate women's match. Because right now, at least with all I've seen, because I haven't really seen a whole lot of SmackDown, so you might have to correct me on this. The only thing that I see is Tiffany being like, "I'm young and I'm walking into my first WrestleMania as champion. Meanwhile, you're washed up and everything like that." And then Charlotte's just like, Tiffy, Tiffy squeaky. I
Yeah.
can't do a high pitched voice for obvious
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
But
Neither can I, I'm sick, but yeah.
that's really it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, no, the what's it called? The shoot promo on SmackDown was great for Tiffany, not so great for Charlotte Flair. It was actually
Yeah,
the worst segment in the history of Charlotte Flair's career.
Charlotte had Charlotte. The only thing Charlotte could say was a stupid Ludwig Kaiser joke, just to get a
Yeah.
cheap pop from the
Yeah.
crowd.
Like,
And I've
and it
seen all
didn't
these
even
TikTok.
work. Like, they wanted to they tried to make
I
yeah.
saw all these TikTok streamers acting like that was such a big fucking burn. It
I mean,
wasn't.
what like,
It
by
wasn't.
itself, the line is, good is, like, crazy, but it clearly didn't work. It
No.
clearly did not work, yes, generally, that kind of line is supposed to be shocking, is supposed to be crazy, but, like, it was kind of desperate, like, it came out desperate, obvious, like, it was
That
very
was why I didn't buy it. Like, if it was like a actual promo exchange and then
because
Charlotte
I think
dropped it out of nowhere and Tiffany didn't reference Charlotte's divorces at all, and Charlotte just, like, went right in, "Oh, is that why Ludwig Kaiser's in my DMs or Ludwig's gonna leave you after?" Then that's like, "Oh, shit. Okay." But
yeah,
as Tiffany's leaving the ring, just done with this promo, and Charlotte just leans over the fucking ropes and says it, it's
right.
just like that was desperate because Charlotte got booed the entire
And
promo.
not only that, like, she definitely got hit with that, like, divorce line, like, that divorce line definitely got to her, which was, again, good for Tiffany, not good for Charlotte.
Oh, easy.
Um, yeah,
The divorce
it's
line really
that's
got
why
to her.
it's really weird, and honestly, I'm sorry, like, the thing is, our good buddy Dylan says, "Oh, Charlotte is gonna win, should win," and they build up Tiffany back up as, like, this whole underdog story. No. No, don't even. Just give a clean win to Tiffany.
That's
Um,
my thing too. I hope Tiff because Dylan, the way he's
I
saying that is basically what they should do now. Is
yeah,
Tiffany's the champion, but she's still the underdog because
yeah,
Charlotte's done all this shit. So
right,
the best way to build her up without doing this like multiple month sort of like building her back up, just build her up completely by having her beat Charlotte clean at WrestleMania.
exactly.
And there you go. That's how you build her up. You don't
That's
have her
how you
lose
make,
win it again.
Tiffany a big deal, that's how you make her a big star.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's if Charlotte wins at WrestleMania, for whatever reason, Tiffany needs to win it back at Backlash. No
Yeah,
later.
they
No
don't need to
later
give
than
Charlotte
Backlash.
They don't need to give Charlotte a long reign because if Charlotte wins,
They don't do that.
they don't do that really much anyway. But the only reason they would have Charlotte win is just for fucking Michael Cole to say 15, 15. Like, actually, no, it's like 17 because she has 2 NXT championship reigns, but we don't talk about that. You know what I mean? It's just all that. Her
Actually,
promo
I
doesn't
think the
sound like a queen. It
NXT
sounds like a
titles
hype.
are counted.
They're not counted for um the whole 14, 15 time. Because if they counted the NXT championship reign, Charlotte Flair would already be a 16-time women's champion. I'm not even joking. You gotta look it up. Like, I'll even look up Charlotte Flair right now.
6, 7.
Do, 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 do,
No,
do.
they're counting it.
No, they're not. Are
They
they?
are. Yeah,
Oh,
6
I could be
Raw
wrong.
women's, 7 SmackDown women's, and then 2
Huh.
NXT women.
6 Raw, 7.
SmackDown
Oh,
and 2 NXT.
maybe I was also counting the
Divas
Divas.
and
I wouldn't count the tag team. So 6, 7. Yeah, that's
wait, no,
12.
that would make her 15. Oh, yeah, maybe they are counting Divas and then the Raw and
They're
SmackDown.
not counting. They're not counting NXT. They're counting the
Yeah,
Divas and they're counting the
Divas.
Raw and
Okay.
SmackDown. Yeah, so it would be
Okay.
16.
That's
Yeah, I
wild.
knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't
Okay.
bluffing.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, and then other matches we have Io, Rhea, Bianca.
Io should win.
One thing that I can say for certain is the person who should not win, and that is Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Rhea should
agree.
not be winning the title at all. I think it would be completely fine if they give the title to Bianca.
Yes.
Bianca is actually a very good champion. Um, always has been. And it's been a while since she's held the title, so I think it's completely fine if Bianca won. But Io retaining is also completely reasonable. She is that good. Honestly, Rhea should take the pin. Whether it be Io or Bianca winning, Rhea needs to take the pin.
Yeah, that was the thing I also like wanted to talk about too. Is like, everyone's biggest problem with Bianca Belair was that she was always in the main event title pictures before she did the tag team thing with Jade Cargill. And that was what made it so good because it's been a while since we've seen Bianca Belair
Right.
in the spotlight to give
And now
people
she's
like
back.
Liv Morgan and people like that
More.
spotlight in the main event more chances. So they need to do the same thing with Rhea Ripley. I'm not saying put her in
Right.
like a tag team with somebody else
No.
for the next
Just
year.
put her in more storylines. That's
Put
it.
her in more storylines, put her in like, non-title feuds, or
Yeah.
give her a break or something.
Yeah.
Because
Like Rhea, I'm
constantly seeing
sorry,
Rhea in the main event is
Rhea's
annoying.
title reigns with the Women's World Championship have not been good
They sucked.
whatsoever. They sucked. When the first Women's World title reign, your best match with her, your best pay-per-view match with her is against Zoe Stark. And look where Zoe Stark is now. And your best match total is Natalia on a Raw that took 2 terrible matches with Natalia first. Like, it leaves a lot to be desired. And then her second reign was not good whatsoever. It was nothing. Literally
Yeah.
nothing.
Like Rhea, her first reign was like, okay, the first little bit she was defending it, and then the second half she was focused on men's Judgment Day shit with
Yeah,
like Sammy and KO, Cody, Seth, all those people.
right,
Like, she wasn't focused on the women's division, and it hurt the Raw women's division
right.
as a whole because of it. Then the
In
second
my
reign,
eyes, Rhea
Second reign.
Ripley should not hold a world title for at least a year after
Yes,
WrestleMania. Like,
I
just
100% agree.
do not even consider putting her as champion. Even if she moves
You
to
could keep having.
SmackDown, do not give the title to Rhea.
That's another thing that kind of scares me is that they bring Rhea to SmackDown in the draft for like a change of pace and like fresh matchups, and then they're gonna immediately have her dethrone either Tiffany or Charlotte. Definitely Charlotte if Charlotte wins, because then it's like no, because then we're right back in this
No.
position.
Yeah, no,
And
it's not a good thing.
Io, I know people are saying, "Oh, Io doesn't need a win because she's walking into 2 WrestleManias as a row as a champion." Io needs a win at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
39, she lost in that nostalgia bait 6-woman tag. And last year she lost to Bailey, but at least when she lost to Bailey, it made sense in storyline.
And it was
This
a good
one,
match.
and it was a good match. This one, this is a must win for Io Sky because
Right.
otherwise, it's just, oh, we just don't want either Rhea or Bianca to get pinned because we're probably going to see maybe Mania 42, Rhea and
Bianca.
Bianca one on
Yeah.
one, or even Evolution 2 if they give the belt to
I
one of the two.
I feel like they could. I mean, Switch brought up an idea of Asuka coming back and have her turn on Io. Honestly, it would probably make more sense to have Bianca win and then you do Bianca Asuka again. And or
Yeah.
hell, you could even have Kyrie come back and you have Bianca Kyrie. I mean, that's more agenda pushing because I think Kyrie should get more opportunities, but
And even then, I feel like if they did do Kyrie Bianca, they would only relegate it to Raw, which sucks. But that could be
yeah,
very
I don't
likely.
know.
And then if they do Oscar Bianca, that's more pay per view.
Well,
I
they
don't know
could.
why
Well,
they
I
would do
mean,
that.
apparently Kyrie is very close to returning, so maybe they give it to Bianca. They do Bianca Kyrie at Backlash, and then they have Asuka come back, and then
Yeah,
Night of Champions or whatever they do. Asuka, Bianca. I don't know. Um, and then we have Gunther versus Jay. I mean, Jay's winning. This
like don't like this.
it is what it is. Right now, Jay is the most over guy in the
Yeah,
entire company, even more over than Cody Rhodes. Um, and I mean, the thing is, bringing in Jimmy, I think definitely worked out. Um,
that segment with Gunther and Jimmy on this past Monday's Raw actually helped the build
yeah.
to this match a hell of a lot more because what they were doing before with, Gunther feuding with Alpha Academy and then Jay feuding with A
I
Town
mean,
Down Under didn't help
having
anybody.
well, I mean, to be fair, I think it is good that Gunther and Jay wrestle before WrestleMania because like them just doing like brawls with each other and just all that. I think that is that was a problem.
Mhm.
Gunther wrestling, just in general is always good to see. Even Jay, bringing back Jimmy, to face A Town Down Under and having
But that's the thing, having Gunther murder Jimmy on national television
that's
actually
gonna
adds story because then
and that
Jay's
helps
gonna
Jay because Jay will what's it going now be more serious,
he'll
which
be
is
more
good.
serious. It won't be just yeet, yeet,
Yeah.
yeet.
I know
It
yeah,
gives him purpose because then he's gonna not only want to
and then
win the
we're gonna
world title, he's
see
gonna
that
avenge his brother.
yeah, and then we're gonna see a better promos, I think, from Jay because
Yeah.
Jay is actually very good on the mic.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Easily.
definitely better than Jimmy. Um, it's I think it's always been known that Jay was better on the mic while Jimmy was better in ring. Um,
Hmm. And then it
and
also adds a bit of intrigue
right,
because
yeah,
WrestleMania, you do a bad blood. Jimmy comes back, distracts Gunther, which would make it more believable for Jey Uso to beat Gunther at WrestleMania.
Right.
Is like adding Jimmy was the best thing they could have possibly done for this
Yeah.
match. Because
Yeah. Thank
before,
God. Yeah.
yeah, because before it's like, how the fuck are you gonna have Jey Uso beat Gunther?
Honestly, and I think it would be very interesting if they had a segment where they have like a segment where Jay interacts with Roman and Roman says like is the air like for him like basically says like I'm proud of you. We're all proud of you. Go do what needs to be done. Like Roman basically motivates Jay. I think that would really help as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah,
Um
I saw a tweet which was like they need to recreate Sammy's WrestleMania entrance from last year with
right.
Jay and Roman, where
Yeah.
it's like go and bring like I told you you were next in line tonight. You could prove that.
Yep.
Bring a world title back to the family.
Yep.
Like last year was my time, this is your time now. Stuff
Yep.
like that because then that would add more emotion to this match as well,
Right.
which would be great,
Right.
you know.
And here's the thing. Then we also have the one match that was removed from WrestleMania.
Sad.
Yeah, unfortunate for Kevin. It looks like and from what I've seen, it's possible Kevin will be out for the rest of the year. Um,
Fuck.
because there's speculation that he needs like actual surgery, like fusion surgery for his neck.
That
Um,
sucks.
that's gonna take a long time. So, yeah, I think Kevin's out for a good while. It's really unfortunate because Kevin has been doing so good. Kevin's been great. And Randy versus Kevin was so compelling, so great, but now it's like, what do we do with Randy? Because apparently, reportedly, Randy is not going to miss WrestleMania. They are going to find something to give Randy.
Mhm.
People are speculating Aldis to fight Randy. Could work. I don't know how we kind of build toward that.
I don't know, but
Some
it
people,
seems logical.
myself included, want to push this agenda. Consider bringing Alistair early to fight Randy at WrestleMania.
I
Um,
don't know about that.
I think it would be
I
great.
think it would be too early for Alistair. I think you're gonna want to push him, like build him up before that, like not his first match back be against
Yeah,
Randy. Because
yeah,
if you
I,
do that, you need to have Alistair win.
right.
Otherwise,
And the thing
otherwise
is, Randy
people
also
will
needs to win.
people will consider Alistair buried
Very,
if
yeah,
Randy Orton beats
and
Alistair.
not to
And Randy
mention
Orton needs to win too.
Randy needs a win too. So another person that people speculated was Carrion.
No, that's not going to happen because
Yeah.
they're building AJ still. They're
Yeah.
still trying to push
It's very
AJ and
weird. Like,
Karrion.
although to be fair, Cross has said on Twitter, I've heard what people have asked for, and if they ask me to do it, the answer is yes. So if they ask Karrion Cross to fight Randy Orton at WrestleMania, Karrion says yes immediately.
Which, I mean, I would not be mad at in the slightest if they just like do a segment right because there's not really that much time to build up Mania where
Right.
Orton's like, hey, I still want to fight. Lights go black. Karrion has a cross jacket in on Orton or like Scarlett with the little like fucking time thing being like
Right.
TikTok. Hey, it's time. Then boom, there you go. You'd have
Yeah.
that happen. I mean, gives Karrion Cross a good Mania spotlight and a good opponent to have Randy actually get a win. And it doesn't hurt Randy in the slightest, even though I love Karrion and I think he deserves better. But
Right.
yeah, because it's either to me
It's
Aldis,
like who
Karrion,
else do you have? Like you could
Aldis,
like
Karrion, or Solo. And even then, Solo's really pushing it because now that Jacob is getting this US title shot, they could
right.
have Solo out there either help Jacob or cost him. One of the two.
Yeah,
So
or they
Solo
could just
wouldn't make sense.
straight up have Jacob win and then at Backlash they do Jacob solo.
Yep.
Um Another possibility they could do just for the sake of having him be used, even though I don't know if it's a good idea. They could have Shinsuke come in and attack Randy, but I don't think that's great. Um,
No, no one would buy it. Nobody would wanna really see it, but
yeah,
then again, you could also say that about Carrion, but more people would
yeah.
want Carrion than
Another and then, like, there is, one more person, but I feel like he's probably better off as a face, and I don't think it would look good for him to lose even to Randy at WrestleMania, which would be Uncle Howdy.
you know.
I don't think it would work because I feel like they should both stay as faces. So I don't
That
know.
is true, and, like, Uncle Howdy's whole thing. Oh, wait, I just remembered. The whole thing is turning his back on family. I forgot. Orton literally turned on his own brother. Fucking whoops. Yeah,
Yep,
they could do that. They could do that.
it could.
They could, but I don't know if they will.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I'll be honest though, the state of the shows have been weird.
Yeah.
SmackDown is cooked, possibly beyond repair for a while. Um,
At least until the draft
um,
happens, and even then,
Not
that's really
even,
pushing it.
honestly, not even. I'd say probably until like mid June or whatever, whenever they stop the 3 hour,
That was what I was gonna say. They need to go back to 2 hours because
or just 2.5, like Raw. Like that's
their big
great.
thing, like, I remember when everyone was so hyped when SmackDown was going to 3 hours.
The thing is, it was a good thing because all the third hour would be utilized for the lesser used stars. Guess
No.
what they did shortly after? They
Commercials.
released all the short like, lesser used star so all the
Yeah.
people that the 3rd hour was for, they got rid of them. So, obviously now it's like, "Oh, what do we do now?"
I will never
Um,
forgive them for fucking releasing Blair Davenport. They
it's
really fucking needed her.
ridiculous. It's
They
so
really
dumb.
needed her.
Yeah.
She could have been an easy mid-card title defender or
Right.
contender.
Or or if you really wanted to, put her in this stable with Chelsea and Piper, like,
It would have been better for Blair to be in it than fucking Alba Fire.
yeah, I mean, Alba could probably work just because there's no Isla, which sucks. Isla Dawn is
But Alba
also
could
gone.
Alba's capable on her own. We saw her
Yeah.
with like NXT UK and stuff like that. But
And
no,
maybe they're planning to have Alba eventually
betray. I don't
betray
know.
Chelsea. I don't know. I
I
don't
see
know.
that
It's
more with
something for Alba.
Piper. I see that more with Piper than I
Yeah,
do Alba.
true. So I don't know. It's something for Alba because Alba was in catering before, even with Isla around. So I mean, I guess it's something. Um,
Here's my thing with SmackDown. Then I'll let you say your piece. Yeah, I'm the guest and I keep cutting you off. My bad.
it's fine.
Um, we've argued this really the last time we've been on stream together when we
Yep.
did a SmackDown. SmackDown has no star power, especially now that KO is gone. No star power at all. It's
Speak.
sad when
Yeah.
your main event of this past week SmackDown and the main event of WrestleMania has 2 Raw guys and 1 SmackDown guy. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
And your champion for SmackDown is having confrontations with his contender mainly on Raw.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes is supposed to do this shit on SmackDown, but no, because Raw is on Netflix, Cody needs to do it all there while we're doing Gunther and Jay also on Raw. So SmackDown also has no world title like prestige thought in it at
Yep.
all, which is stupid. And then SmackDown, what do? We get recap packages of said exchange.
Do you wanna know the worst part?
What?
I from what I've heard, SmackDown is eventually supposed to go on Netflix, later. I don't know when, I don't know the details, but, um, I think that there's gonna be a problem where the roles are gonna be reversed. SmackDown's gonna pick up in quality, Raw's gonna dip so hard.
Yeah, because
Because
Raw
now
won't feel
all
like a
the
big
star
deal anymore.
because because SmackDown's gonna go on Netflix, and then all the stars are gonna be on SmackDown while nobody's on Raw.
Yeah,
That
especially
is an
when Jay's a
issue,
world champion.
that is a problem. SmackDown, I'm sorry, SmackDown is not good at
No,
all. Like, SmackDown is unbelievably bad, and, um, I feel like now, if this is the rate things are gonna go, Road Dogg, I tried to give him a chance, I tried to be nice to him, 'cause I like Road Dogg in general, like, I like him, but, yeah, if this is how things are gonna go with him, get him out. Forget just writing. Fire him completely.
you know they're not gonna do that though.
They're
They're
not gonna do that because
friends.
Triple H is the head of creative, and that's his boy,
Y-
so
Yeah, it's sad, but they need to go back to 2 hours, or if they're going to
I'm gonna
Netflix,
be
two and a
real
half.
honest with you also, it's not just SmackDown. Raw and NXT are also hit or miss.
Yeah, I could kind of agree with that.
Raw is more miss than hit, while NXT is, like, kinda more hits because Shawn is actually a good booker, but
He books matches
also,
that
there
people
there
actually
are
want to
some
see.
misses. There are some misses in NXT.
Oh, for
NXT is
sure.
not do like, this year does not seem to be as good for NXT as, like, 2023 or hell, even 2024, it was better. Um, but
I think because they're too busy focusing on TNA.
yeah, TNA deal seems to mainly be for NXT, and
Yeah, like that's the thing too
I'll
that
be honest,
switches.
TNA
Like
does
with
seem to be
TNA,
looking good right now. They have Joe Hendry, Frankie Kazarian, and Ethan Page.
yep.
For Rebellion or whatever their next pay per view is called.
I think it's Road to something. I forget what it's
They
called.
have
I think it's
Unbreakable.
Road to Rebellion.
Yeah, they have Unbreakable, and then they have Rebellion.
Rebellion. I think
Um,
it's actually that first one you said they're doing it. I forget.
yeah.
Breakdown.
Well, yeah, I'll be honest.
TNA won't even save SmackDown, much to Switch's
Uh,
point. TNA would
yeah,
not even save SmackDown. Even if
yeah,
they brought like Moose, even if they brought
Joe
Joe
Hendry,
Hendry,
yeah,
because
even
what
if
would
they
you have Joe Hendry
right.
do? Everyone wanted the big interaction with Joe Hendry and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns made Joe Hendry look like a
Like,
bitch.
um, right now, TNA is looking alright, pretty decent. We'll see how Delirious does as new booker of TNA.
Give him a chance.
I I'll be honest though, Byron and Leo and Dylan would probably think I'm crazy for saying this, but I'm sorry, it's the truth. The best weekly show of pro wrestling is definitely not anything in WWE. It's not even AEW Dynamite. AEW Collision is the best show of the week.
Yeah, it's kind of
Quality-wise, it's Collision, and I'm like, what inverted timeline are we living in?
it's
Like,
crazy. It's crazy that in a universe where they gave Cash Wheeler a singles match, that's part of the best weekly
yeah,
television.
that's probably I'm pretty sure that's, like, the first ever singles match,
It
for Cash
was.
Wheeler in AEW.
It was,
Like, and
which
I'm
is
like,
shocking. He's
which
been
is
there
crazy.
for almost 5 years now. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. But, like, quality-wise, in terms of the wrestling, in terms of, like, the build up, to their shows, Collision actually does things. Collision actually builds up their stories. They're, yes, I know, 2-week long stories, but uh, it's still stories.
They have
Um,
stakes
yeah,
and
like
stuff like
there's
that.
actually like, yeah, that's the problem I've noticed mainly with WWE and AEW. WWE does too much long-term booking where they drag things out for 3 months that could be resolved in like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Whereas AEW, they put everything in 2 weeks, even the stuff that should be 4 months.
Yeah,
Uh,
the only times they would really drag something along if it was like MJF and CM Punk and Swerve and Hangman.
yeah,
But those are
basically.
also two of the best rivalries
To
in AEW
in
history
Yeah, and some of the and among the best rivalries probably in pro wrestling, like,
in the past like decade
the past
at
decade. Yeah,
least.
like, it it's weird,
I will
right
say this
now,
too.
but yeah, like,
I
oh,
can say this now too.
yeah,
Like these days, I'm more likely to sit through an entire episode of Dynamite than I'm likely to sit through a whole episode of Raw or a whole episode of SmackDown. I tried sitting through SmackDown Friday and I only really watched the favor segment and
Phoenix
fucking Phoenix and the promo
and the
with
promo
Charlotte
with
and
the
Tiffany. Those are the
yeah.
only three things I watched on SmackDown.
I was on stream with Byron and Leo and Dylan and Roger, but,
Well, yeah, I don't know if you saw my
I
video, but the whole thing was when I said like wrestling in 2025
I
sucks. I don't go on the streams because I can't sit through a whole episode
yeah,
of a wrestling
during
show anymore.
like, I'm like, genuinely, during the stream, the SmackDown stream, I literally said multiple times on stream, on camera, that that segment with Charlotte Flair, her forced high pitched stuff, I genuinely wanted to kill myself for hearing it. Like, that was so bad. It was the worst thing I've ever heard. I like, and
No,
I
I believe
said
you.
SmackDown right now is 2019 levels bad. It is genuinely as bad as 2019. It sucks. It sucks, and like, I I kind of felt a little toxic on Friday because had to be a little bit of a jerk to Byron and say you were completely wrong on SmackDown being can't miss.
It's not.
Like, had it not been for Fenix's debut and Punk, Seth, Roman, I would absolutely miss this SmackDown. Like,
No, me too.
honestly, like, I am feeling like I'm feeling like I kinda don't wanna watch SmackDown right now anymore,
Oh,
until they
I
fix
wouldn't
it,
have watched. I wouldn't have watched
but
SmackDown. I would have done the Raw
I'm a
Universe
content
mode.
creator, so
Yeah, that's true. I would have done the Raw Universe mode that I waited until today to do, or I was gonna watch SmackDown. And when I heard that Ray Fenix was debuting, and especially earlier on Friday when it said, "Oh, Punk's gonna reveal the favor tonight," I was like,
yeah,
"Oh fuck!" Now I'm definitely watching that.
right.
You know, that's it.
It the first hour was great, and then it fell off.
Yeah.
Um,
Like
it's
when
just I don't know.
when I saw the nothing matches that they were doing, like B-Fab and Naomi, it's like next. Oh, wait
Yep,
a minute. Kevin Owens is doing a state of address right now. Well, okay, I'm gonna tune back into that. You know what I mean? And then
yep.
it's like, oh, they're doing another nothing match. I'm gonna get out of that. Oh, Punk's making. Oh no, Roman's making his entrance. Tuning back in. That's what I did all
Fastest
Friday.
ever Roman Reigns entrance, by the way.
I know. I was like, wait, Roman's already in the ring. Then I rewinded it, and Roman's just fucking doing a power walk to the ring. I was like,
Yep.
oh shit. Okay.
I it's weird. I'm probably still gonna be watching SmackDown just to, or at the worst case scenario, I'll be on stream with uh Byron, Leo, and Dylan, just because I
Just to
like
talk
being
about,
on with them.
yeah, just to
Um,
talk about wrestling.
like, I like, after WrestleMania, apparently SmackDown after WrestleMania is when Black is supposed to come back, so
Yeah, you watch
I'll
that.
definitely watch that, but God, SmackDown has been god awful, and Raw and NXT have been underwhelming. Like, if you asked me, I know we're only like not even 4 months in, we're like 3 months in. If you asked me right now, so far, who is Booker of the Year of like in 2025, I'm sorry, I have to say Tony Khan.
Yeah, like
I
if you
have to say Tony Khan by default.
if
Like,
most of you people haven't been in my channel before,
and most likely I'm gonna
I've
change to Delirious
I've
uh
I've shit on Tony Khan
by
for
the
as
time.
long as I've been doing YouTube. Now I can agree with that. The Tony Khan by default is Booker of the Year because NXT is missable. And
Well, sometimes it does
Raw and
well,
Smack
but like it's
sometimes.
not as consistent as it
I only
was like 2 years ago or even a year ago. Like,
I only checked out NXT this past
like,
week.
last year, 2024, the only reason I did not consider Shawn Michaels as Booker of the Year was it was basically the end of 2024, and Shawn threw away Booker of the Year by doing the cardinal sin of breaking up Chase U. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? What, like, oh, they wanted to release Duke. Okay, release Duke. Instead, Thea is nowhere in sight, which,
Thea
by the way, she needs to show up for these qualifier matches for the North American title. Otherwise,
yeah.
I'm gonna consider her released. Um, and Riley is now on Evolve. I'm like, Riley was runner up in the breakout tournament and had an incredible match with Oba. Like,
I thought they were gonna make
like
Riley like the best member of Chase U, how much they were building him up when he first came.
right, like in ring he was. In ring he is the best. Like, he
He's the best wrestler
could
in
have
Chase U in
easily
ring, yeah.
been a mid-card champion. Like, hell, he could have. I wouldn't even care if he went after the Heritage Cup. It would have been something.
It made sense.
Instead, he's on Evolve now, and I don't even think he's like heavily featured in Evolve. I don't like it.
Especially Thea with how much they were building her up last year or the year before to be a top
Like I said,
contender
this is when they need to bring Thea Hale back. If they don't bring her back, it's over. I call it
by
wraps.
the end of
I
the year.
No, not even no, wait, no, way too late. Way too late. No. These qualifiers for Stand and Deliver North American
No,
title,
I mean, she'll be
when
released by the end of the year.
not even. Not even. I'd say halfway, like probably around SummerSlam, she's
Mm,
gonna be released. Like, I will consider her released right then and there if she's not in these qualifiers at all. Like, if she's not
yeah.
even, like, it's so dumb. But yeah, right now, if you ask me so far, who's Booker of the Year, like, yeah, you can quote Malden Seed all you want, but it is Tony Khan right now,
Like,
so
sure,
far.
the Death Rider shit sucks, but everything else has honestly been
And the
cooking.
thing is, the Death Riders, I'm like, I I feel like people don't understand this. The Death Riders, everything Moxley especially gets the most views out of anything AEW. It's getting
Yep.
more views than anything Tony Storm. It's getting more views than anything Kenny Omega. It's getting more views than anything Hurt Syndicate, anything Ricochet. Hell, even like anything Swerve, unless it's Swerve and Moxley promo.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, the Death Riders is just a bloodline. It's just a bloodline. That's literally the same effect. And it's like,
It's a mix of the Bloodline and the Shield, essentially.
no, not even. I would say just the bloodline. Just the bloodline. Because it's
Mm.
basically the same stuff, the same
W
uh
Oh, you don't
prominence, the
understand.
same attention.
We're fighting for something bigger than this. Oh, you don't understand. This is bigger than you, bigger than me, anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's just a bloodline, and people were
Yeah.
singing its praises once Bloodline story was basically over. Um and they're probably, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if people flip and start singing praises of the Death Riders once Death Riders stuff is over.
Once like they don't have the belts anymore,
Yeah.
and the Death Riders are still causing chaos. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
they're gonna be like, "Oh, Death Riders is amazing." Like, because literally the microsecond it started, as soon as the Death Rider stuff started, as soon as they put the bag over Brian's head, they instantly hated the story. I'm like,
Oh, I loved it
"What
when
are?"
they first did that. But when they stopped showing the AEW World Championship was when I started hating it.
Yeah, but there were people like on the internet, like as soon as the Death Riders stuff started, immediately just say, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever." Like, they also say idiotic things like, "Oh, AEW is gonna die." Like, no, AEW is not dying. Stop it. It's not going to die.
The
Uh,
same people who hated the segment with Brian getting choked out with a plastic bag said cinema when Gunther bloodied up Jim
and
Uso.
they're like, and they're saying like, "Oh, they're on their," and there are people that are saying like, "Oh, AEW's on their last TV deal." Yeah, you said that before they got this
The
current
new
TV deal.
one.
Yeah, so please, they just got the TV deal, so that means we're getting AEW for at least 5 more years.
And
Uh,
Warner Brothers already admitted they don't give a fuck about the cable ratings because apparently Max is doing so much better.
exactly, and nobody is talking
Nobody
about,
talks about it.
streaming service numbers. They don't talk about Netflix numbers, they don't talk about, Max numbers, like, every time numbers are like, rating numbers are brought out, it's only the cable numbers. It's only the cable numbers, and
Yep.
AEW is getting, like, 500 to 600,000 on cable only.
Well,
Like,
nobody watches
and,
cable anymore.
yeah, cable's dying. I literally said this was going to happen, that cable will not mean anything. Cable is worthless right now. The
I
ratings are
said this
worthless.
I said this in one of my anti AEW videos last year, where when they had 502,000, I think, because of the Kendrick Lamar concert. I was
Right.
like, cable TV's dying. Maybe the best thing to do is go on HBO Max and they'll expand their numbers, which is the only saving grace for AEW is if they get to
I knew
HBO
this would
Max.
happen, and
They're there and it's happening.
they have the streaming service numbers, and they still have people like me who pirate the, shows,
And I buy the shows.
and people who, like, right now the shows are, what's it called? Even, and what's it called? Also people are trying to, like, act all gotcha like when when AEW's work, doing like smaller venues. That is literally what we've been asking for.
Everyone's been asking for that.
Like, we wanted this. We wanted AEW to go to smaller venues. Now they're selling out their shows.
Now like when you hear the crowd, especially since with the smaller arenas some of the people are so close to the ring so you can hear them better.
Yeah.
You can hear the crowd and how electric that they get, and
They're
that's the
selling
thing.
out their shows.
Most
They're
of these
selling out their pay-per-views.
critics,
They've already been selling out their pay-per-views, but now they're definitely selling out their pay-per-views.
they're selling a lot
Tonight,
better than what they
Dynasty
would have
is
had.
sold out.
Yes, which is
Like,
great.
yeah, so,
And
like, why are we
my biggest point is like most of these critics, they want to give advice like what we've done, right? Okay, do the smaller venues, go to HBO Max, do more long-term and more serious booking instead of big match, right? Instead of, oh, this is going to get 5 stars by Meltzer, give a story as to why this is
and
happening.
now they're
They're
trying to do
doing all of that.
long-term booking, what's it called, with Moxley, and people are like, "Oh, we don't want it. We don't, give it to Swerve, give it to," like, if you cared about long-term, booking, you would completely accept Darby Allin, being the only one to take it from John Moxley.
Yeah. And like these
Like,
critics are
I
giving
understand.
advice, and then when they follow the advice, it's bad.
Like, I understand, like, "Oh, okay, we wanna do it at Revolution." You coulda done it at, like, around Revolution. You coulda had Darby and Mox, and then Christian cash in, and then later on, give it back to Darby, give Darby his big moment. Like, that woulda worked, but
Yep.
And the thing is, I had a feeling that Christian was going to fail as soon as Copeland came back, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, Copeland wants to fight Moxley, especially for the world title." That means
Mhm.
Christian's failing.
Yeah.
Cause which is fine because honestly, like, and the thing is, after that street fight that Copeland and Moxley had, it seemed like that was Copeland's last ever world title match in his career.
Which
Based
is
on the
good.
crowd, based on the crowd, they did this whole send off vibe. I think that was his last ever world title match.
Which is good because at this stage of Adam Copeland's career, he should only like put people over
And the
at this
thing
point.
is, like,
This is all he needs to do.
what's crazy is that the two world title matches between Cope and Mox, we had one at the pay-per-view, which was horrendous. Um,
Yes.
and then the street fight, so much better. A massive upgrade, night
People
and
still
day.
complain about that.
It was literally night and day, and I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna run it back, and it's gonna be so much better." Like that's my only gripe with the whole Copeland and Moxley stuff is that I knew they could do better. They were doing better. Before the pay per view, and then they did better on that world title match after the pay per view. I was like, we all know you two are both better than what you gave on Revolution. It's like, why did you do like one of the worst matches I've seen, like anyone's seen on Revolution? Like, why?
Mhm.
It's one of my gripes of pro wrestling is when world class talent are dragged down to a lower level, a way lower level, or when world class talent are deliberately doing worse, um, like or give a worse performance than anyone with eyes knows that they like. People are saying like, "Oh, John Moxley is like not good at wrestling." Like, no, John Moxley's a good wrestler. Whether you
He's
like it
good.
or not, he's a good wrestler. He always will be. Until he's like truly like broken down and like his body cannot function anymore. Um, but the Revolution was so bad, it made it actually like it made me so angry because the way I saw it, like that kind of performance made John Moxley look more washed than Chris Jericho. Um, and I hated it. I hated it because I know he's better. I know he's better. I know Copeland's better, and they proved it right after. And I'm like, great guys, thanks a lot. It's so dumb. But yeah, right now, I'm sorry, AEW is the better product than WWE in 2025 so far.
Exactly. And with the
Um,
Dynasty tonight, I bet a lot of people are going to be like, "Man, this is so great."
I wouldn't be surprised if overall speaking, like overall, I wouldn't be shocked if Dynasty ends up being better than WrestleMania,
I
which
wouldn't be surprised at all.
is not going to be a good thing for WWE. And
No,
even if
the only saving graces.
Tony Khan does something ridiculous and stupid and butchers things and throws away Booker of the Year, it's not like the Booker of the Year would go to Triple H or even Shawn Michaels. It would probably go to Delirious of TNA.
Very
Um,
likely.
like
Or
I'm
it goes back
sorry,
to Gato
Triple
of New
H.
Japan.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Triple H. Um, yes, Triple H is much better than Vince McMahon, but right now, only just. He it's like right now, from what I've seen, Triple H, his main thing is that he's not Vince McMahon. He's not the literal devil of pro wrestling that is Vinnie Mac.
It's the only reason
He's
why
a
people like
middle
him
of the
so much.
road booker. He's not like special. He's not amazing. He's always middle of the road, always fine. Um, and at this rate, I don't think it's gonna take long for Sean to take over or creative. I think in like maybe 5 or so years, Sean will have to take over creative because Sean's a better booker than Triple H. And people
Y-
are like, "Oh, NXT's different than main roster. They have to like do a different style." Like, yeah, I don't know. That kind of doesn't really add up because like there it doesn't make sense that Sean is able to make shows that are possibly the best shows of the week, better than the main shows of other promotions even. Uh
yeah.
it's like how is that like different style? It's like, oh, what, the booking style, like, gets worse when you go to main roster? Like, that's stupid. No, the main roster should be better booked than NXT, and it's, like, never the case. It's like, oh my god. And
I
if HBK, like, gets watered like, falls off in booking, if he takes over main roster, then that's not a good thing. That's really not a good thing. But it is what
Tyson
it
Kidd.
is.
Tyson Kidd takes over.
No, 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 no. Let's not do that.
I feel like the longer, and I said the same thing for Tony Khan, which I find the most funniest. The longer that these fanboys just sit there and accept everything WWE does on a silver platter and say, this is okay, I like this shit. The
and
longer that people sit there and say, this is okay, the more we're going to get shitty things like basically what we're getting at Mania. Sure, Cena and Rhodes, great.
Cena heel turn, best thing in pro wrestling of all time. Sure, but
Easy.
overall, the product is not good.
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
This
yeah,
long term booking sucks.
Cena heel turn is perfect, but it should not be at the expense of everything else. Cause then,
Mm.
like, that doesn't help your case. Like, if that's the only thing you have to show for it, well, like, I don't know. And people are like, oh, that's like, and also people like, unfortunately, I mean, Byron can see this. Byron, you're watching eventually. Probably not now, but eventually, you're gonna see this. You and other people are like, oh, that's why Vince didn't give Moxley creative control. Do you not realize that like half of AEW has creative control? Like, probably some people
Moxley,
in WWE.
Mercedes, Jericho,
Yeah,
fucking Young Bucks, Omega, all those people, Page,
like
all those
b-
people have creative
when
control.
back when he was in AEW, Malachi had creative control.
Obviously, Cody had creative control
Cody
too.
had creative control. Like, hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Hurt Syndicate have creative control.
MJF has creative control.
MJF probably has some kind of creative control.
Some, but not really, because I don't
Maybe
think
not
he'd really want to be
always.
with. I don't think he'd
Yeah.
really want to be with Hurt Syndicate right now.
He probably doesn't care too much about like he has some pull. Like like
Or Garcia. He probably didn't want to do
people
Garcia.
have some pull.
Yeah, Tony Khan being one of them, obviously.
Yeah,
So
like Okada probably has creative control to like there's
Osprey a little bit
Osprey.
too. Yeah.
Osprey 100% has any amount of creative control. I
Has
wouldn't be
at least
surprised
some.
if Samoa Joe has creative control, especially now that he's on like retirement's doorstep. Um,
Exactly, like, and he wants to build up people like Hook and
Hulk
Shibata.
and Shibata, yeah,
Yeah.
hell, Britt Baker has had creative
Had
control. Yeah, I mean, now she's not doing anything, but maybe that's
Danielson
her choice.
Danielson
Danielson did
definitely did.
100%. Bro, Danielson probably is. Actually, I'm pretty sure Danielson is part of creative.
He's part if
And
he's part of
and
the
most likely
disciplinary
taking
committee.
over from Tony Khan. Like Tony
Yeah,
Khan literally said, like after me, give the company to Danielson. Danielson's in control. Of course, Danielson
Definitely
is.
he is. Definitely
Like
he is.
there's definitely plenty of people that have creative control. Even WWE, there's people with creative control. Um, yeah. So it's a stupid argument. That does means absolutely nothing. Uh, but yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm personally interested to see where AW goes. Um, but right now I need WWE especially to step it up because
Yeah.
like I said, the Charlotte stuff, the forced high pitch stuff. I said I would rather watch Ronda Rousey. I would rather watch Becky Lynch feud Trish Stratus where she was not speaking coherently at all. I would rather watch washed up Hulk Hogan, and hell, I would even like it made me wanna pop a blood vessel so bad that, like, I'm now, like, starting to feel like I would rather watch Brock Lesnar squash Kofi Kingston on loop for 3 hours rather than that.
That's fair. Yeah,
Like,
no, WWE is like super missable unless it's something involving the two Mania main events, like I said,
it's like,
which sucks because this show on paper, like if you just look at the card itself, it's like, oh shit, this is gonna be a great Mania, right? I mean, you got LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, you got AJ Styles and Logan Paul, you got Io, Bianca, and definitely Rhea. Man, this is going to be great. Charlotte
yeah,
and Tiffany. And then you actually watch the shows that build up to it. And then it's like, I only want to see fucking two matches.
yeah, like, it's not good.
Out of a 9 match card right now, definitely more to come because we still got the IC title. We still got the
Which it looks
fucking,
like an IC title is gonna be involving, Breaker, Penta, Dominic, and Finn.
and then you still
Um,
got the WWE tag titles, which looks like it's going to be Street Profits, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Los Garza, and Pretty Deadly. In a fatal
I mean,
five way.
I don't even know if Los Garza will be in that equation. It'll probably just be the 4 teams.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I mean, there is the possibility that Dynasty there's gonna be bad match. Like, there's gonna be some stinkers. But in theory, there's not really gonna be like it based on what I'm seeing, just without context, of course. All these matchups look insane for Dynasty. Like, I don't
The
see how any match is a bad match. Like,
the only
even
stinkers would really be like what's on the pre-show, from what I see.
right, like, and even then, Nick Wayne and Crew versus Action and or not Action and Andretti, AR Fox and Top Flight, like, that's most likely gonna be good because Top Flight's good, AR Fox is
Yes.
decent, Nick Wayne is decent, Crew is actually decent. So, like, and there's a story behind it. So, like, that pre-show is, I mean, they also like, uh, what's it called? They hinted at a possibility of the Ops versus Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor and the Infantry, but which
Mm,
would probably be a squash for the Ops, but
very likely.
it's like, I don't know. I mean, for all we know, tonight we could see Josh Alexander kill Max Caster. We could see,
Very likely.
um, I mean, there's also the possibility it could be Bowens,
Could be
um,
Wardlow.
could be Wardlow, it could be Roosh. Like, I don't know. The only bad match that I feel like the worst match I feel like, in this card, especially main card, is Hurt Syndicate versus the Learning Tree, and it's probably still going to be decent because Big Bill is actually good, and a Hurt Syndicate are actually good wrestlers.
They're great.
Great. So it's like, yeah, like what we're worried about
Or Chris
Jericho
Jericho.
versus Bandito. Like, no, not even.
Yeah.
Bandito is great, and Jericho
Bandito's
honestly is not even that bad. Like Jericho hate is so overdone. Um, so yeah, I it is what it is.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm excited though,
All
nonetheless.
right. Yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's it. I think
Yeah.
I basically said everything I needed to say, and we talked about it. So thank you
Yeah,
so much, Willie, for Will, for coming on the podcast.
no
Uh,
problem.
this is just it. We're doing things. So yeah. I don't know when the next episode is gonna be. I don't know what's it gonna be about even, but tonight is Dynasty. I'm gonna be with Asa and Kay and maybe Switch. Um, and I don't know if he.
I'm gonna be in the comfort of my own home just in case I fall
Yes,
asleep.
fair enough. So thank you everyone for coming on. Uh, that's the end of the podcast. So subscribe, like, uh, enjoy the content, and we'll see
Mhm.
what's next. All
Peace.
right. Yeet.